one thing I think you do better than, because there's a lot of people that are doing something similar to your brand, but one thing you do, I think, better than anybody is you have tapped into these like universal truths about the fire service.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, I feel like when we're at our kitchen table, you know, we go through that feed. It should just you should just be there at our kitchen table with us. Whatever you're thinking is exactly what we're laughing about.
I purposely go on the edge a little bit because if you're not, then what's the point?
How long have you
Yeah,
been
you
in the
kind of
fire service?
10 years.
Okay. All in San Diego?
Yeah,
You
just
don't
for
take it too
that, for the
seriously. You
same
can't. My
same
God, you
story. I was a
can't.
medic, and then I was Navy
I'm
before
sure you
that. So the
broach
Navy,
on
the Navy,
the edge
it's
of
pretty similar in
offending
humor,
pretty, a
very
lot of
similar
firemen
culture.
because firemen
The
have
ship life is
egos, and
very similar to fire station
uh,
life.
I could see
I
that
almost
happening.
wonder if paths would have been different if I would have stayed in the Navy. If I would have had a Navy meme page
Oh,
eventually,
exactly. Did you go to
because it's very similar.
Did you go to Great Lakes? The first train stop down from that is where I grew up in Lake Bluff.
It's cold as shit.
Dude, we one of the cool things we got to do is in 2004 or 5, Great Lakes tore down some barracks and we got to train for like a month in them. And that was, I mean, to this date, still some of the best training I've ever had. But I remember going on base and being like, dude, this sucks. Like, this lifestyle must be so brutal.
Well, I could talk about the Navy probably the whole hour. Like that's a. I think now that I'm getting older, I tend to pay attention more to the details of life because that's where the comedy's at. You know, that's where the memes are at. But God, boot camp, jeez. So I was like 18. I grew up in a small desert town, and I went to boot camp in January. So we got
Oh,
off that bus. Well, we came out of the airport, Chicago, and I got a hit with reality. I was like, oh, it's cold.
It's a
And
cold
then
like like no other place, man.
it hits you hard. Like they were we were wearing ski masks, a beanie, trench coat, turtleneck, all this stuff, and my my eyelids were freezing when we were marching. And I remember we already couldn't march with crap because we were like first 2 days. And I went to go and try to get the eyelids to open. And I remember our what we call them. It wasn't drill instructor, but he started chewing me out. Hernandez, what are you doing?
You're like, I
Why is
can't
your
see.
hand? Why is your hand on your eye? And you know, you can't call him sir either. Back then, you couldn't call him sir. They would get mad and say, "We don't call me sir. I work for a living." That was their thing. That was a weird thing to get used to in the fire service because you call everybody sir. It was hard for me to get used to that.
Yeah, because you're like,
I remember,
I shouldn't have to, right?
yeah, you guys don't you guys work for a living? That was the joke in the Navy. So I was it was weird calling my captain like sir or like in the academy. I think I even said I a couple times like
Yeah.
sir, and I the guy asked me like Hearn. You know what nicknames are? They're not something you love, but it's just something that sticks.
Here's what you don't love if you don't have one. Like, it's
I
fine
never okay.
if you don't have a
well,
nickname.
that depends. If your nickname is because like no one likes you, that's a bad nickname. That's a
Yeah,
bad nickname to have. But
probably don't want that one.
yeah, the endearing ones are nice. I mean, you know,
No, I'm just saying, like, we have a new guy at our station, and on our board, everyone has a nickname, but you know who either the new guy or the outcast is because we just put their normal name up there. So like, it's even though if you have a shitty one, it's better than having no nickname at
it's
all.
true. Yeah.
How did you transition into the fire service? You're just like, hey, this is something that is like the military. I'm gonna go give it a shot, or I just want to get back to San Diego.
You know, I'm real big on younger. I'm real big on looking at people that are older than me around me that I work with, like their life, what they're going through, because I know whatever job you're in, you're going to be basically them in 10, 20 years. And I have nothing's wrong with the Navy. The problem I had with the Navy was that you're always gone, like really gone, like 6 to 9 months out of the year, you could be forward deployed on a ship. And I saw the older people that I worked with and their family life. I didn't really like it. I didn't really like how they missed all the baseball games, or they couldn't coach, they couldn't do anything. So I came up my 4-year term, and I was like, I'm done. I remember I never complained about anything. I wasn't one of those complainers, and I just said, hey, I'm done at 4. The ones that complain are still in. I noticed, but when I got out on the ship was battle stations. It's like every time there's some sort of threat, they would call battle stations, and everybody on the ship had a job. Mine was firefighting, which most people on the ship is. It's a pretty big deal. The ship's on fire. I just enjoyed it. I was young. I was 20 years old. I just liked throwing the BA and like doing it. And they had like fake smoke, and we would like investigate. I thought it was fun. So I started taking classes, and when I got out, I just started pursuing it. Before the fire service, I see myself doing it because I don't think I had the confidence. Before the Navy, I couldn't see myself doing the firefighting because I didn't have the confidence. The Navy definitely kind of instills in you, like, if you want to do something, you could do it. You just have to work your ass off. If I just kind of started doing that right when I got out, I got my EMT, got my medic, and then at the time, it was a big hiring freeze. I don't think anybody hired till 2011-ish, I think, everyone. So I had like a 5-year gap in service and trying to get hired. Now it seems like everyone's getting hired like easy.
We had that.
It seems real easy.
Yeah, I mean, we had that conversation relatively recently where we got hired kind of in that like 20, I don't know, when did you get on?
2008.
Yeah, so it's like 2008, 2010-ish, it was, I mean, really hard. It was really hard to get on. Even like in the early, like 2006, I guess 2006, 2010.
Yeah.
It felt like 2,000 people were coming to test for like 3 jobs. And then now there are some departments that can't get 100 people to show up for their tests.
How many guys are showing up for your test now compared to when you got on?
I don't really know. I think we still got long lines. The problem we're having, the details is not really my area, but there's not really a lot of medics.
Yeah.
And that's probably the same problem everyone's having right now. So like, I'm a medic, and like, it's just, we can't get them. And then when we train them to be medics, a lot of times they leave too for higher paying. So it's probably pretty common. I think we're getting plenty of recruits without just the EMT though.
Do you guys send folks to medic school?
We just started, yeah. And I think I just heard they're gonna do 2 a year now, 2 classes a year.
I mean, we're trying, but the thing is just like you're saying, is we have some departments around us that pay a lot better. They take better care of their people, and they'll get their medic and then bounce. And it's like, why are we not at least saying you have to stay here for like 5 years so we can get?
I think they legally can't. I think.
Oh, no kidding.
Like a city can't tell you, like they're not the Navy. I don't think a city can really tell you that. I think if someone could challenge that pretty easily. I think that's why we don't do it.
Yeah.
I know like some departments do that, but I'd be willing to think that that's not really legal. I mean, hey, I'm just an Instagram guy, but I don't think that's legal. I feel like I get like Joe Pesci in there, like my cousin Vinny, like you can get in there. I think you could just thrash those rules. I don't think they can do it. I mean, how are they going to keep you there?
Yeah, I think it would more maybe be like, hey, you got to pay us back. You got to pay us back for, if you don't stay here for 5 years, you got to pay for whatever the charge is for medic school or something along those lines. But if you had magic wand, 2 things that you could, to fix morale, like what would you do?
Yeah, we put you on the spot there.
Because to be honest with you, it seems like...
No, it's good. Good question.
Because everyone thinks that their department is having this like morale crisis.
Or they all are.
But that's what I'm saying is then we look at your page and we're like, oh, this is a universal truth that everyone's getting mandatoried. Everybody's fucking exhausted. Everyone hates all the engine guys hate the truck guys because they slept all night. Like these are some universal truths, which is really exciting because then there can be some universal fixes, right?
I think my department actually does a pretty good job with the mental side of it. We have a lot of resources you can call, and you can kind of take care of that if you step up and call the number. I don't have any problems with anything like that. I would say that maybe some departments could focus a little more on some of the social media aspect. Um, I see some people doing it. I think it's Sacramento Fire. I see LAFD doing it a little bit. If you just had a guy who just drove around in a city little car and just hung out with a fire station for a few hours in the morning, took a few little videos and made a little reel of what they're doing, and just showed it would bring morale, would have a little fun. You could increase your followership on your department's social media, and I think that's a start. The other thing, maybe it's obvious. I mean, try to cut down on Mandos, but what are you gonna do?
All right, so let's get in.
I
Let's
don't know
get
the
in
answer to
this.
that.
Let's talk about the fun stuff, which is some of your posts. This one I really liked. So we're gonna go through some because I save them, and when we knew we were gonna do this podcast, I'd just save them, and Craig would kind of store them away. But you got this picture of Jesus, and it says, and God says, "I shall create days off." The firefighters respond to, "Oh man, we got the best work schedule." And God responds, "I shall create Mando." It's so true, right? So it's the best schedule, but then, oh hey, guess what? You're about ready to leave the station. Here's the phone ringing. I mean,
Psych.
the things people do. Let's talk about that. What's the best thing you've seen someone do to avoid Mando, other than just shutting the phone off?
Oh, I got one, something I did, and this
All
is
right.
on the books. I legit got this excused. I'm lactose intolerant.
All
Weirdly,
right.
sometimes I can get away with it. We had a retirement party one day, and my partner in the back seat made this incredible nacho cheese dip stuff for chips, and I just went to town on it. And I took a big risk, and the risk did not. It didn't pay off, and I was in the shitter all night. And the next day, luckily I was on the truck, so we didn't get no calls. But the next day, I got mandoed, and there was no freaking way I was gonna be able to work. I couldn't stop going to the bathroom. So I wrote an extensive email explaining my exact situation, what I just told you, how I tend to risk it sometimes and I don't always win. And I wrote in detail what my night was like.
In
It got
like medical
excused.
terms, like you're writing a report, you're like, I entered the bathroom and proceeded to sit on the on the
I think
feces receptacle.
I think one of my lines was, "I'm not even sure I'm going to make it home today without shit in my pants. So I don't think I could make it to another station." I don't think I used bad words, but I was very direct. And yeah, I got excused, and I think I screenshotted that. I might even put it up one time. Uh,
You think?
just for that meme though, I got to give credit to that meme. That wasn't my meme. That's the Dirty Deuce.
Oh, okay. Well, shout out to the Dirty Deuce then.
Yeah.
They're out of
So
Portland, aren't they?
Tacoma,
Tacoma.
Washington.
That's right. We met some of them out in firemanship conference.
Do you think it would help if mandatory overtime was double time?
Yeah.
There
Help.
comes
That would help, right?
a breakover point where you can't pay someone enough for them to be happy. Like there is a certain like, hey, we're going on vacation today. I just got mandatory last month, and now you're doing it again. Regardless of how much money you give me, I'm still going to be pissed off.
I don't think it's really feasible. I think the public already thinks we get paid too much. They don't realize most of that is overtime and mandos, and we have to do it. But I think if you added on to that, it would just, I don't think it would ever go past the public. They'd be like, "What? You're paying them what?" I
How
think they're just going to continue to kind of,
how often are you getting mandatory?
what? It slowed down a lot in the past 6 months. There was a time period about a year ago where it was twice a week.
Damn.
You are twice a week?
I'm
Oh,
a fire medic. I was twice a week.
terrible.
Yeah.
Dude, that is
It's
fucking brutal.
it's gotten better, but I don't know why it's gotten better. Again, I don't want to speak to what's above me, but we've had a pretty, I don't want to knock on wood, the fire season has been all right down here, and maybe they're hiring a lot, maybe staffing is improving because of that. I don't know. But holidays are coming up, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I was bitching about once a month, and now you're getting it fucking twice a week.
I think once a month is about what it is now. But
Okay.
yeah, it was crazy. It was pretty wild there for a little while. It was about a year ago. So when the peak of COVID and fires were, I think up Northern California. Whenever Northern California burns, we all kind of feel it because we're all kind of going up there. It all sucks everybody in, you know.
How does your department feel about what you're doing?
I don't know.
Oh, really?
Officially, no one's ever told me anything, and I don't. I purposely just kind of do what I'm doing. I don't know where to go with
No,
that.
we our department hates us, so we had to come up with a.
I mean, hope they leave you alone. I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
it's
that
it's
sounds
good
way better than
stuff.
what.
Like, yeah, yeah.
You know what? I think in the beginning, I think there was probably not a lot of fans, also at the same time. And I think over time, people have realized that I'm not out to get nobody. I'm not out to attack anybody. I'm just trying to raise morale. I think Mandos aren't going anywhere. All the situations I make fun of aren't going anywhere. Why not? I mean, it's the American way. Why not make a little fun of it?
Right.
We do it. Whoever the president is, regardless of your political situation, we always make fun of the president. Why can't we make fun of Mandos? Why can't we make fun of the engineer? Why can't we make fun of? Why not? That's part of our right in this country is to be able to have a little comedy. And I think that maybe they understand that, and maybe they going up, and they just kind of they don't talk. We don't talk about it.
I like it. So let's go to the next one. Let's make fun of some people. The 10-year firefighter. This is a good one. You got
Basically,
pictures.
me.
Yeah, it's officially 10-year firefighter. Just got off of work. I love it. Like long shorts, like sweatshirt. When does that transition really happen from, say, new guy to like, yeah, I get off work and it's just like, yeah, I don't care.
I think married with kids probably.
Yeah, that'll do it.
You, you got
That's when I gave up all hope. You know.
That's when you stop. That's when you stop doing
you
the
got too
calendar.
much shit to do. Like right now, you gotta get off work. You gotta get home. You gotta pick up the kids. You gotta do all this stuff going on. You're not really worried about. You might as well be comfortable.
That's right. What do
You're not
you got
really
kids?
worried about it. Yeah, I got two. A wife who's hiding from me right now. Every time I do a podcast, she hides. She thinks I'm going to talk about her. I think she's in there somewhere.
Bring her in here.
Yeah, I have a.
Yeah,
Well,
let's see if we can get
She
her on
won't come in
camera.
here.
oh, come on.
She's so afraid. You know, I'm always on camera. I'm always doing stuff. My wife's complete opposite. I think just the fact that she hears me talking about her, she's probably going to all of a sudden go to Target.
Will she do something that's not video? Will she voice? Will she record her voice or no?
I don't think so. I've been trying.
Right.
Maybe one of
Next
these
time.
days.
Dude, you did something recently that would probably like my favorite post is you did outtakes of yourself selling those stickers. And
Yeah.
as someone who has tried to do the same, it's hard, man. It's so hard to do well. And I love the fact that you did all your outtakes. It was so funny, dude.
I think I might just do that from now on.
You should, man.
Whenever I do anything.
It was so humanizing and it goes along the same thread of everything else that you do is you try and maybe this is not your intention, but you connect people who are all going through the same thing and you make it hilarious. So that's exactly what I felt. I was dying because I was like, oh shit, that is me constantly.
I actually kind of got the idea. Frontline Optics. You probably know I sell all kinds of things, and I got a lot of different vendors. He's another vendor. He sells the shades that say Mando City on them. He sent me a outtake reel, and he's like, "Hey, can you do anything with this?" And it was making me laugh. We need to put it up. He he was pretty bad too.
What
And that was like the day
is it on your
before.
page or his page?
He hasn't put it up yet. He actually, I was editing it for him.
Oh, okay.
I was giggling as I was editing it, and so the next day comes around, and we're trying to sell tickets to this charity mustache bash, and I was just like, I'm going to go and talk about that, and then I realized that I had a lot of outtakes. You probably know I edit like that stuff like crazy, and as I was looking at my outtakes, I was like, those are actually kind of funny. I'm just going to put that up.
What is this fundraiser? What are you trying to raise money for?
So we do it every year. Sean Bramber started it about 4 or 5 years ago. It's mustache. Now we call it Mustache Madness. It's just a party. You have a mustache, you don't. We raise money for firefighter aid here in San Diego. Firefighter aid, basically, if you're a firefighter, you get hurt in any capacity, they'll come. I mean, they'll do yard work for you. They do everything, make sure you're fully taken care of. Obviously, you're still getting paid with your department, but they come in and help out with anything else, whether it be food, money, anything. So we donate all the proceeds to them. All that merch you saw me doing I was trying to point at it and all that. That's all
Yeah.
for charity. The parties gets bigger and bigger every year. I mean, last year we had 600. I found it in LA. It was a
Oh
Hollywood van. Like they have some
man.
business, and the guy drove it down, and we had some fun with that. One of my friends dressed up like Mr. T. And anyway, this year we're doing the same thing. I'm not doing the van thing, but we got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I found it in LA. It was a Hollywood van. Like they have some
Yeah.
business, and the guy drove it down, and we had some fun with that. One of my friends dressed up like Mr. T. And anyway, this year we're doing the same thing. I'm not doing the van thing, but we got a lot of stuff going on. We're just trying to get people to go. It's actually on Thursday coming up here.
I saw those shirts, and there you guys can wear those on duty.
Yeah, so that surprised me. I knew the hat might got approved. I didn't know the shirts were going to get approved. But yeah, they approved all that stuff up until the 20th. The chief also approves a really good mustache that's long. He relaxes grooming standards up until the event.
And
That's cool. It's pretty cool.
never.
Dude, you want to increase morale, you just got to do stuff like
that's
that,
actually
man.
that's actually it. I mean, and
It was great.
we have
He does that every year. It's great.
we have conversations regularly about there has never been one complaint ever in the fire service about firefighters wearing T-shirts around, and usually, I mean, everything they wear is respectable. I mean, with this, the exception of putting like profanity on your shirts or something like that. That shirt, yeah, it's not really department issued stuff, but the public doesn't care. And then guess what? It builds morale. And honestly, they'd probably look at it and go, "What's that all about?"
Yeah, they will start to ask some questions.
Yeah. I mean, I saw it and I was like, "There's no way we would ever get that approved."
No.
You know?
Or a relaxing grooming standards.
Oh man, that's cool. That's good. That's good to hear. There's
Yeah, they do
hope,
that every
Craig.
year.
There's hope.
Hey, I'm all about two things: hope and change.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. All right. How about this one? How about remember this? I remember that kid. What movie was that in? We
That
just
was-
watched that the other day with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, that
no,
was
no regrets.
Meet the
What was it?
oh man, meet the something, meet the Smiths, or meet the
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think the guy in the right is.
That's totally true, right? I mean that's actually true. We talked about it this morning. Not only on probation. I mean, we had a guy. He doesn't work for us anymore, but we had a guy that was, got the award for top academy recruit, and within like 3 years he was fired, and it's like he got off probation and everything changed.
shut it down.
Yeah, but I mean, you see this with the officers too, right? They ride backwards, or they're in one position and they promote the next position. It's like you never even know this guy anymore. It's too bad they get like that. It's not that hard to really stay true to yourself.
Well, I think as you change in the department, some people who don't have a real good sense of self feel like they need to, I don't know, come up with one. Like if you don't set your standard at the firefighter level and you're a sloppy piece of shit, then if you promote, like that, you're still that person. And so, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen it successfully where you were an awful firefighter, but then you promoted and you're a great officer.
Yeah, or you've changed how you are around the station or your station life. Like you were the guy with the most opinions and about everything, and you had opinions about people that you worked for and people that worked for you, and then you got to a certain level and it's like, no, everything's good up here. Like company man. It's like, come on. Like let's stop.
Yeah, that's I'm just thinking about what I just said. And it's like you can change. Right? Like
You can, but you gotta be able to. You're gonna have to face your past, right? You're gonna have to face the questions. You're gonna have to actually deal with it and not just pretend it never happened. I guess that's the problem is
okay.
you pretend it never happened.
And everyone's
well, wait a minute, you're coming at so and so for doing that. You did way worse shit when you were riding backwards. Way worse.
yeah, you need to.
Now you're trying to tell me how to do stuff.
You need to say like, "Hey, I know I was a piece of shit,
yeah,
but
right.
now I am trying to."
I'm trying to prevent you from being the piece of shit I was. That'll work.
Oh,
That'll
see,
work
yeah,
better, right?
some humility.
There is some to the fact that who had hard probations would be harder on probies.
I see that. I mean,
sometimes it's unwarranted, but
or they might feel like that's the only way. Yeah, I mean, I think when you're going at, oh man, I had it hard, so I'm going to make it hard on them. That's probably a bad place to start. But sometimes I think that occurs partly because they may not know there's another way, or I go back to what Craig says. They just don't know themselves. They don't. I don't know. There's a lot that goes into treating a probie right, man. There's a life experience and how would you want to be treated, and having some feel for guys, and obviously it's changing with the millennial generation, which now we're kind of past that, to be honest. We're into a new generation, it seems like, but lots have changed on how people are receptive to that type of treatment.
I think a lot of it's good. The place I've worked for previously was horrific, absolutely horrific to their new guys. Like, just some stories. One of which was probies in the kitchen, right? And the crew comes in with a booster line. They ran these, 1.5-inch red booster lines and flooded the kitchen. Drop the nozzle and say, "Hey, we helped clean up tonight." And this dude is now stuck with not only cleaning up all the dishes, but fixing this kitchen that's now filled with, 100 gallons of water, or trying a probie trying to do the right thing and take someone's plate, and he gets a knife stuck in his hand. Like that, no bullshit.
I'm just that's wild. But that hose thing, I'm just thinking about my station. We had a plumbing leak and it screwed up our floor, and we didn't get it fixed for like 3 years. I'd be pissed if someone did that in my kitchen.
Well,
They're never gonna fix this floor. We
totally,
just got
man.
this floor replaced.
Yeah, well,
You
you
know
think
how hard it is to get the city to get us a new floor in here?
we live here. We live here, motherfucker.
Yeah, we were walking under the slats were coming up, and you were tripping on them for like 2 years, and they finally replaced it. If someone did that at our station, we'd be pissed. We're like, dude, that's
Totally,
our floor. They're not going to come in here tomorrow and fix that. Then they're going to wait 2 more years.
dude. Yeah.
You ever heard that?
So, where I was previously employed, they would sometimes like, you would eat not with them, like you would not eat at the same table. You wouldn't eat on the tailboard, but you wouldn't eat with them.
Okay.
So sit like
I could kind of see that if there's like a
like
you're
a
doing
kid's
cards,
like a kid's table.
Well, not necessarily real. Yeah, I could kind of see that part, but the tailboard thing seemed a bit extreme to me.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure it happened somewhere. If you heard it, I'm sure there's some truth to it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that.
You know what? Something that's changed probably in the past couple of years is this where officers eat last. It's a pretty cool thing. I think I don't know where it came from, but I remember probies used to eat last. Now they do like the ambulance eats first, then the firefighters, up the chain. And the idea is that the workers got to eat first. I've seen that a lot. I've seen captains walk in the kitchen and be like, "I can't eat until you eat." Like, look at the probie. And I think that's a pretty
very
cool
uncomfortable spot
change.
for a probie.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but that's a cool change in the past few years.
My understanding is that is from the military.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we have some military cats, and that's my understanding is that's what that's where that
leaders
came
eat
from.
last.
Yeah, leaders eat last. The problem is that you'll get these officers who suck, but they let their new guys eat first, so they think they're doing a good job. They're like, "I'm good. I got my food last. So
I'm the leader. I ate last.
I'm a good leader. See how good I am, guys." And like they've been a piece of shit the entire day.
Yeah.
That works good too because I don't know. I like it. I think it's a good change in the. I think it's been like the past few years. That's a new thing. But,
I think the way even through a lot of experience in the last few years, we changed the way that we treat probies. We never treated them bad, but just giving the probationary firefighters a little bit more ownership in there. It's like, I hate to say it, but if you don't want to learn or do stuff, and it's part of just the culture maybe within our departments, like if you don't want to do, I can't force you to, and it sucks because that inevitably brings, say, the standard down across the whole, but you just you kind of have to read them, and if they don't want it, they don't want it. I don't know, that's kind of how I felt.
So there's no way to push, you think?
There's a way to push, but I think through the pushing process, like before it's like, we're going to push and you have to comply. Now it's like, it's just the way it is. If they don't want to comply, they're still going to keep their job.
Hmm.
Don't you think?
Well, yeah, there's no, I mean, we can barely get people as there is.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy to make that case, you know?
All right, check this out. This is the Seinfeld clip. I love this clip. I'm a big Seinfeld guy. Are you a Seinfeld guy?
I am, but you know what? One of my producers, one of the guys that've been with me forever, he's huge. So a lot of times things will happen, and I'll just text him, be like, "Hey, Seinfeld do anything about this?" And he'll know right off the top of his head. Oh yeah, Kramer did that. And he'll send me the clip.
Such a
So
great,
he's like my guy.
such a great show. Here, we're gonna play it.
Apartment. Whoa, whoa. So then we go back to my apartment. Whoa, whoa, whoa! So we're fooling around there, you know, just getting a little passionate, and she starts with the dirty talking.
All right, hold on. Time out. Whoa.
What did she say? You know, the usual.
No, I don't know. How do I know the usual?
Typical things.
What's typical? Give me typical. Give me some typical.
She says, I don't know.
That's very dirty. That's absolutely filthy.
And then she starts talking about her panties.
I'm gonna need some water here.
So then we go back.
I mean, that is. I mean, the married guys are always trying to live vicariously through, not necessarily with relationships all the time, but like, you know, the newer guys who have no responsibilities always have like the new trucks, or they're going mountain biking all the time, and it's just like, oh yeah, he used to do that.
Well,
So I
now
feel like,
now with like all of the dating apps,
oh yeah, we have
that shit is, if you get your hands on someone else's dating app, it is probably 2 hours worth of fun at the dinner table.
we had a Proby do a presentation on that for us. It was very informative.
Part of the probationary process for us is you have to do like a, I don't know,
10-minute presentation.
Yeah, 10-minute
Some
presentation.
fire skill.
And our last couple of probies have done awesome. They've done it on like dating apps where he like set one up.
They do their presentation, but then they also
Yeah,
do another one.
do a funny one.
Yeah, dating apps was one. Some of them we can't get into, but it's been very informative for being approaching 40, and then these 20-somethings come in, and it's like, what?
So I just did a podcast. It's coming out here probably this week, and we were talking. We have a big station. One of our big stations. You know, what do you guys call the bullpen? The living room.
Day room.
Bullpen.
I like that.
So I don't know why, but we call it the bullpen. I don't know why.
You're on
It's always
deck,
been called the
man.
bullpen
You're on
down
deck. You're that's where you sit before you go into the game on the fire.
here. Yeah, it's always been called that. I don't know where it comes from. Maybe somebody could tell me. But we're in the bullpen. It's a big bullpen, so you got, because it's a big station. There's probably 15 chairs in there, and they would make, not really the Proby, but the 1-2 year guy. He put his Tinder or whatever was popping at the time on the big screen through Apple TV. And then you'd go through, and then the guys in the whole bullpen would choose swipe left or right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
That is absolutely fantastic.
So
based off the guys in the bullpen, he had to swipe whatever is the good one right, and actually talk to these girls based off what everyone thought in the station.
Dude, that is fantastic. We had some guy, he set up his whole profile. So, you know, we got said,
yeah, didn't we use some stupid stereotypical picture of a fireman, like something with an axe or something, you know, like shirt off and all that.
We made probably the most, like the lamest profile ever,
Yeah.
but he got some dates. He got some dates out of it.
I want to look, everything I do is a joke. I want a blanket for like a firefighter blanket with like muscle firefighter, like ridiculous, like the cheesiest ever. Because someone had it at my station. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. He had like guys like flexing all over his blanket.
Oh yeah, dude, that is hilarious.
Sell that.
Do you guys have like kind of jack with people's rooms and things like that? What's your
what do pranks look like these days?
for you guys?
Oh, pranks. I remember one. know when you move up, you guys move up. Like, so there's a fire in a district, and you got to drive your pump to their district and cover their district.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what you call it, but moving up.
Move ups.
But sometimes things happen for that too. So because you're going to someone else's station, I've seen people put, the Spanish channel on really loud on the TV, hide the remotes. Oh, you guys play cards at all?
I played cards at another station every night, and whoever lost did the dishes. But we don't play cards at our station.
And cribbage.
We played this has nothing to do with politics, but it's called Trump. And that's
It's 2
how.
to 10, I think. 10, I think. I think we call it 2 to 10.
Okay, yeah, it's something.
Is it? It said you can bag out. You get all different cards, and then you can bag out, and then there's like a Trump card. Again, nothing to do with politics.
Yeah,
Is it like that?
100%. And then you win that hand, and then it keeps going around, and then whoever loses does the dishes.
Here's an idea what you could do when you go in someone's station. Go to their cards where they play that game and take all the fives out.
Or put like 4 or 5 aces in there.
Just take all the fives out, and then like 2 days later, you get a text. Take all the fives out here because they won't know. They won't know what's happening. No one checks the deck before they play. Fives are a pretty important part of that game.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious.
No, I'm thinking of cribbage.
But still,
But yeah, just take something out. Yeah.
We had a good one. I've heard from another station was the engine goes out on a call, and the truck took the medic's the whole entire bedroom, nightstand, lamp, bed, and put it right next to where his boots go. So when he got
Did
back,
you guys send me that? I think I saw that.
I
did
didn't
before.
But yeah, it was pretty epic, man. And then that dude slept
Another
there
one I've seen
the whole night as like
that's a good move actually.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not
what you're
moving it
supposed to do.
back.
Yeah, oh no, that's yeah.
Somebody else moving it back.
It's like I would just act like I would just get down to my chonies and just brush my teeth, walk out there, and just get in bed. Just do my normal night routine. Just get all comfortable. Just do it in front of everybody. I mean, like, this is where you guys want me to be. This is where I gotta be tonight. I'm a team player.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We had like a little pay-per-view gate going on at our station.
What happened?
In the last couple months? Like, well, it wasn't on our shift, but there was a couple fires going on, and crews are moving up to our station, and so then they'd order pay-per-view movies there.
Oh, hell yeah!
And of course they're long gone when the bill comes. But we started
investigating. What kind of pay-per-view movies?
No, I didn't get that bad, but they were terrible movies. I mean, one was like Rambo something. It was like some remake.
Oh, you said it was terrible.
Is that your
It's
style?
a great movie, man.
Sly. All right. Yeah. So it was. Nobody's gonna say shit, right? They just come in, they order it, and move on with their life.
Love it.
One of the best moves I've seen. We went to someone's station. I took out their entire bed, everything, their bed, and we put it in a different room. And I put a picture of that bed where his bed was.
Oh yeah,
a little picture. But what the best move I ever seen? Not me. What he did to me? Absolutely nothing. He never acknowledged.
You just kept waiting.
He never did anything. I saw him a couple of days later. He acted like it never happened.
You're
that
like,
was
man,
the
come
best
on, man.
move I've ever seen.
I want some props for this.
Yeah.
Or at least
he's not
like
even on the department anymore. I'm still waiting for it. He's gonna come get me one of these days.
Dude, your last day, that would be awesome. Your last day on the job, he comes back and screws with you.
He was a Navy guy too. He was a Navy guy too. He knew it was a good move. I still respect that move. He's like, what? He never brought it up, never nothing. That's perfect. Perfect.
One that I think was like more of a tradition was they'd give you a sugar cookie. So basically, you'd be in the shower, they'd turn off all the water, and then dump a pound of flour on you. And there's no more like of a hopeless feeling that you're covered in batter pretty much at that point, and you can't do anything because you have to get out of the shower.
How do you respond to that?
Well, you chase them.
No, you just go.
I tried to give hug.
You did it to me. I'm just going to go lay in your bed and dry off with your towel.
Ooh, that's way better.
Everybody a hug.
Hey, yeah.
That's way better than I did handle it.
Flower?
A hug, bro.
Oh man, yeah, that was a good one.
Go maybe kind of lay across your hood.
Man, messing with people's cars
with flour.
Oh, flour's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, but you're buck ass. Like you can't go outside. You know what I'm saying? That's you're in a lot. Yeah, you're buck ass naked.
Nobody likes naked guys hugging them.
No. The other one was when you snow globe somebody, you take 2 rolls of toilet paper on like a dowel, and then you take a air bottle and you open it, so it basically makes these small little pieces of toilet paper in their room, and it's like I was finding pieces.
Hours.
I was finding pieces of toilet paper months after I got snow globed. It was really impressive.
I think you're giving people ideas because I don't think any of us down here have heard that idea.
Yeah, listen, before this goes live, you gotta do some of these.
Do you guys do fridge like refrigerator art?
We have a lot of stuff over our fridges, but what do you mean?
It's just something we do. It's basically a meme. It's where memes kind of started. It's like, I'll give you an example. I was at a station and it's a brand new station, and across the street was the old station. Someone had graffitied on the old station with black spray paint. So I just one day I got some white paint and I went over there and I fixed it. Little known to me, the next day I come to work, pour my coffee, look at the fridge, and there's a picture of me, and it looks like I'm painting that cock on the. That's fridge art.
No.
No, I knew they knew,
Yeah.
but I was like,
Okay.
That was the joke. Fridge art's a joke. It's like they're just messing with me. They're like, my nickname Hearn. They're like, Hearn finally breaks or something, like they wrote on the bottom. It was gold. It looked like I was painting it onto that station. Fridge art. Like, I remember a guy, he had his engineer test driving the city dump truck. Fire engine comes behind him. So he's doing his test to get his class B, and a fire engine going coat. So he goes to pull over. He can't because there's trash cans in the way. So he pulls over as far as he can. The engine goes around him, pulls him over at the dump truck, and says he didn't yell to the fire truck.
No and he's like, "Hey man, I promise, I was trying."
So they had to fail him. So he really tried. They failed him. He had to redo it. Fridge art on that was hilarious. I mean, it was like him, like as OJ, like all the cops chasing him in the dump truck, like all the fridge art the next day. There's like, him running from the cops. There's all of this stuff. That's basically what fridge art is. That's kind of what the page is, like a modern day fridge art thing. It's just on there.
We've
been doing that for years.
We have I would say maybe the most epic text thread. I'm sure every fireman thinks that, but we have a couple guys who, if you take a picture and you send it to them, and maybe we'll send you privately a few of these, but they are so good. Like they are
quick too,
like
within
fast,
minutes,
man. If you want something edited, like we talked about editing earlier, these guys will make a meme like in minutes. They must have some app out there that I don't know about, but it is impressive.
Yeah, those are going on. Those are always going on.
Before I forget, I'm going to send you this one that I think it's been going around. It's a former employee at where we work now, and I'm just going
kind of making fun of the fact that the group text got busted and everybody went to jail. You've seen that.
We talked about that.
Oh man.
Do you get sent a ton of stuff? Like, do people just constantly send you shit?
Yes. And I don't want to look like I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. I actually am going to get another phone because
I'm
going to leave this phone. It's all good. It is what it is, but I'm going to leave this phone as brigade stuff. I'm going to get a separate phone and I'm not going to give out my number.
I think it's probably good.
But no, it's all good. I like it. It's good. And actually I get a lot of great stuff from people. I want them to keep doing it. I need a break sometimes, and I need to look at my own phone, just like get away. But some people are very creative. A lot of times, like in the beginning, there was a lot of anger, and I was like, I'm not gonna. My role is very simple. If I look at it, laugh, like a chuckle, and it's not inappropriate in some way, too bad. I'll probably put it up. But if you show me something that's like out of anger, or that's true but not funny, that happens a lot. You can make a true meme, not necessarily completely true but not funny. But yeah, people send me some funny stuff, and also a lot of video, fires, all kinds of stuff. So it's cool. I like it.
It's cool, man.
I like that I'm the one they think of, when they do that.
I know we do. Like I think it's almost become, at least in our station, like it's a verb. Like, oh man, that's a brigade right there. Like that's a, like when we see something. So it's cool, man. I think what you're doing is awesome, and we definitely get a lot of levity out of it at the station for sure.
You're going to send me a van. A van that's interesting in some way, not just send me a van. Picture of a van.
Oh, because a Mando van. They just send you a van.
Send me vans all the time, and I'll be like, dude, it's just a van. Like, send me something that's an interesting van. Like, that's the only thing I would critique people about. But that was actually when I realized it was getting big. A couple years ago, I started getting firefighters from all over the country were sending me pictures of vans. And like, the van's after me, the Mando van's after me. And I was like, what is happening right now? What is happening? It was a couple of years ago. Northern California was just all burning, and those firefighters up there, like the line crews, like they were sending me pictures of burnt up vans, and they're like, "We finally got the Mando van," and I'm like, "Who are you?" And I didn't put that up because that's like someone's van, but our department was up there on strike teams, and they become pulling into fire camp, and people will be yelling Mando van at them, and they're texting me. They're like, "Dude, this shit's like everywhere," and that's when I realized, like, oh, this shit's taking off. Like, it's getting wild.
How long have you been at it?
It started out just showing fire video, and then I think I did my first meme. It was really, really simple. It was Kevin Hart kind of looking around the corner, and it just said, when you hear the phone ring and you're number one on the Mando list. Very simple. And then the reaction I got from that, I'm not like an outwardly funny person. I think I just know how to make the memes. And the reaction I got from that, I was like, oh, I can do more of these.
Yeah, totally.
I just kept doing it, and then it's evolved into a little bit better tech, but pretty much same thing.
I wanted to ask you. You had someone on your podcast who was a fireman who was going to bring some folks over to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Yeah. And matter of fact, I'm trying to get the second one right now.
Oh, okay.
Eric, he went over. He actually has a lot of crazy pictures he brought back, and we did a second one of him coming back. I just got to put it up.
Nice, man.
Yeah, he went over. He did some stuff. I mean, he ended up on I want to say New York Times for some stuff he did over there. It was pretty wild.
Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing that one, man. You got a really good thing going.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Man.
Well, thanks,
Always
man.
available.
Really appreciate it. And when this comes out, we'll let you know.
Yeah, man. Thanks for keeping us sane.
Yeah.
No worries.
Cops are good.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Have a good day.